This is the story of Yusuf's extraordinary journey, where his encounter with a mysterious sea creature and the kindness of strangers changed his life forever. Once upon a time, in a village called Al-Bahar, on the shore of a vast ocean, a fisherman named Yusuf lived with his wife and 9 children. Every morning he would go to the seashore, cast his nets, and catch fish to sell in the market. With this meager income, his family managed to survive. But one day, the sea seemed to become merciless to him. Every morning, Yusuf would cast his nets and wait for hours, but his nets would not catch any fish. Returning home empty-handed, his wife and children would fall asleep hungry. One evening, while returning home in despair, Yusuf stopped in front of a bread shop. The shopkeeper, Ibrahim, was baking fresh bread, and its aroma was spreading in the air.
Yusuf stopped there and looked at the bread. Ibrahim saw him and understood his need. Recognizing Yusuf, he said in a soft voice, "Yusuf, come in. Take bread for your family." Yusuf was moved to emotion and said, "My brother, thank you for your kindness, but I have no money." Ibrahim smiled and said, "It doesn't matter. You take the bread and then give me the money." Yusuf thanked Ibrahim and returned home with the bread. From then on, Yusuf would take bread from Ibrahim's shop every day, and his wife and children would eat their fill. A long time passed like this. But one day Yusuf thought, "How can I live like this?" He went to the sea every day and cast his nets, but he did not catch a single fish that he could sell to make a living. There was no shortage of fish in the sea. Why didn't the fish come to his net? One day, he went to the seashore early in the morning like every day. He cast his net, but his mind was filled with despair and worry. He thought that he would have to face failure again today. Suddenly, there was a movement in the net, as if something was stuck. When Yusuf pulled the net, it felt as if a huge fish had been caught. His heart was happy, thinking that today his luck had accompanied him. He pulled the net hard and lifted it to the shore. When the net came out, he was surprised to see a strange creature in his net. Its body was half human and half fish-like. The creature was talking like a human. He said to Yusuf, "For the sake of Allah, let me go back to the sea." Yusuf was surprised and asked, "Who are you? How did you get to the sea? Who threw you into the sea?" The creature replied, "My name is Ismail Deria. I live in the sea."
"No one threw me into the sea." Yusuf was even more surprised and said, "It's strange. My name is Yusuf too, the son of Ishmael. Whatever it is, I'm letting you go back into the sea." Yusuf loosened the net, and Ishmael was freed in the sea. He said to Yusuf, "You are a very good man. Wait a moment. Wait for me." Ishmael dived into the sea and came back after a while. He had some diamonds and pearls in his hand. He gave them to Yusuf and said, "Take these. I didn't have a bag to put them in. Otherwise, I would have brought more." Yusuf was amazed and said, "What a miracle! I have never seen such pearls. Thank you very much, Ishmael." Ishmael went back into the sea. Yusuf ran with the diamonds and pearls in his hand and reached Ibrahim's shop. Overjoyed, he said to Ibrahim, "Today I am very happy because Allah has accepted my prayers. He has given me many riches, and you were by my side in my difficult times. Take some of these pearls and keep them too." That night, Yusuf's house had not only Ibrahim's bread, but also pickles, meat, and fruits, a rich feast. One day, Yusuf was sitting in his house thinking about Ismail Deria. He thought, why not give his friend something as a gift? So he took a basket of fruits, filled it from the market, and set off towards the sea. He wanted to repay Ismail Deria with a gift of fruits and thank Allah for his kindness. When he reached the seashore, he called out loudly, "Ismail Deria!
"Ismail Deria, look what I have brought for you." Ismail Deria raised his head from the sea and said, "What is the matter, brother Yusuf?" Yusuf held out the basket and said, "This gift is for you." Ismail Daria took the basket in his hand and was surprised to see the fruits. Wow, what fresh fruit! What a beautiful gift of apples, bananas, grapes, and pomegranates. He thanked Joseph and said, Joseph, I know how worried you are. Wait a moment, I will be back. Ismail took the basket to the river and dived into the sea. After a while, he returned. The basket was full of pearls. He gave it to Joseph and said, Take this gift from me. Joseph saw the pearls and said, Hey brother, so many pearls. Ismail said to the river, I have so many pearls. Take these and fulfill your needs. Joseph took the knife and went to Ibrahim's shop, and this time he gave 3 handfuls of pearls to the kind Ibrahim. The rest were taken home. After some time, Yusuf needed money for his household expenses. He took a pearl and went to the jeweler Hassan's shop. Hassan was a greedy man. He was surprised to see the pearl and asked, Do you have more pearls like that? Yusuf said honestly, Yes, I have many pearls like that. Hassan remained silent. But suddenly he shouted, People, catch this thief. This is the man who stole the queen's pearls. Yusuf was surprised. Before he could say anything, people caught him, tied his hands and took him to the palace of King Saleh. Hassan was walking proudly holding the rope. When he reached the king's court, Hassan said, King Salamat, we have caught the thief. The king was surprised and asked, What kind of thief? Hassan said, Hujur, this is the thief who stole the queen's pearls. The king was surprised and said, Has the queen's pearls been stolen? We don't even know about this.
Hassan said, King Salamat, everyone knows that the queen's precious pearls and bones have been stolen. The king looked at his vizier and asked, Is this true? And he ordered a soldier to call the queen. The queen came and said, Alimpana, you called me? The king said, Yes. I heard that your pearls and bones were stolen. Is this true? The queen replied, Alimpana, they were found. I had forgotten them somewhere, but I have found them again. The king said to Hassan, Now tell me the truth. Who is this man, and what is the matter? Hassan showed me the pearl. The king saw the pearl and thought it was very valuable. He asked Yusuf, Tell me the truth. Where did these pearls come from in the prison? Yusuf said, King Salamat, a friend of mine gave me a basket full of pearls. The king was greedy. He thought he would have to make these pearls by hand. He said to Yusuf, You are worthy of being my companion. Will you be my vizier? Yusuf thought, It is an honor to be a vizier, but being in the palace can make you forget Allah. Still he said, What greater happiness could there be than this? The king said to Hassan, You have lied. You have accused this honest man. You must be punished. He ordered Hassan to be flogged. After a few days, Yusuf became the king's vizier and his family started living in the palace. With Yusuf's efforts, the king's treasury began to increase and the king respected him. A friendship developed between Yusuf's eldest son and the princess. They would walk together in the garden, and Yusuf and the king thought that they should get married. Despite this honor, Yusuf did not forget his friend by the sea, Ismail. Every morning, he would go to the seashore with a basket of fruit. When Ismail was called, he would come out of the sea. They spent a long time, they would talk, and after saying goodbye, Ismail would return to the sea, and Yusuf would return to the palace. One day, in the middle of the story, Ismail asked, Are you really the king's vizier? Yusuf said, Yes. The king is a very good man. I hope you will come to the palace one day and meet him. Ismail said, No, my friend, I cannot live outside the water. Then he said, Yusuf will not be driven away by the king's outward behavior. He may want to seize your wealth. I advise you to leave all this and stay with me in the sea. Yusuf said, How will I stay in the sea? I will drown. Ismail said, I have a medicine.
If you apply this to your body, you will be able to float in the sea. You will be able to sleep. You will be able to walk, just like clay. Yusuf said, If that is the case, I will go with you. Ismail said, Wait a minute, I will bring the medicine. He dived into the sea. Yusuf sat on the shore and started thinking about how the sea journey would be. After a while, Ismail returned with a vial. Apply this medicine and then jump into the sea. Yusuf applied the oil and jumped into the sea and went deep with Ismail. There were strange animals, beautiful fish, aquatic stars, trees and houses of stone. Yusuf was taken to Mahmud, the king of aquatic animals. Mahmud was adorned with diamonds and pearls. He smiled at Yusuf. His courtiers also smiled. Mahmud said, "Look at what a strange man he is. He walked with his hands under him." Yusuf said, "Why are you laughing at me? These are my feet, the feet of a clay man. You have a tail. That is your beauty." Ismail was ashamed to see his friend making fun of him. He said, "Let's go back." Returning to the sea, Ismail was ashamed and said, "Friend, you go back to your world. I am going to the sea. Maybe we will not meet again." Yusuf asked, "Why?" Ismail said, "I am ashamed of the behavior of the courtiers. I will leave them and go elsewhere." Yusuf said, "Then we will stay on land. You are my dear friend. I do not want to lose you." Ismail said, "No, I am a sea creature. You go to your family and king. God is the protector." He dived into the sea and disappeared. Yusuf did not forget him. Every day he would go to the edge of the sea with a basket of fruits and call Ismail.
Wait for a while, and when he did not come, he would return silently. Dear friends, I hope you liked this story. If you liked the story, do not forget to comment and give your opinion. Subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much for listening to the story.